Welcome to another episode of Rican.
Now I hear you guys. Okay.
I'm Groovy Lou.
And I am Motivated Mo. Yes,
Nice.
here for another edition.
Of Rican.
Definitely. What's going on?
What's good? How's it going?
Oh my God, so good. So much going on. What can I say? Yesterday, being a part of my Trek group, we were invited yet again for the upteenth year to participate in their Kids Week for Sunday.
Right.
Where we represented, of course, our group, Star Trek, and talked about everything involving STEM. In which case, I gave my presentation in regards to how Star Trek as a television series was the inspiration to a lot of today's technology. I mean, a lot of people didn't understood that. You're like, well, why are you guys just about STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics? I said everything. And, I showed them the old communicator. I showed them all the old flip phone. And they were like, yeah, I know about that. I said, then I showed them the communicator from Star Trek. That this is the idea it came from. And they're like, what? And from that, born in the conversation of here's the communication technology. Somebody saw this 1966, and when they grew up, they became an engineer, and that engineer was part of a telecommunications company. And they said, we need a new design. I said, I got one. And the next thing you know it, bam, there is the small flip phone. I mean, I'm sure they had other iterations of it. I remember mine getting it from AT&T. Well, it wasn't so small, but it was a bigger handheld flip. But eventually, it led on to the smaller version that I saw from Verizon, and that was my mother's old flip phone that had the camera on it, which was also the introduction of that. And I said, each part of that technology today was birthed from this television show, from everywhere from the touchscreen, tablets, and telepresence communication. All that came from Star Trek that somebody watched and said, hey, when they got older, they worked in the field where they said, we can make that. And we did. Just like in Trek throughout the years, when they had a communication with someone, put them on viewer, telepresence. That's what we're doing right now as a telepresence. Is that part of that technology? So in essence, one of the guys from there that was part of the he's the director of services there, involving bringing people to the ship, setting them up for these occasions. So we had a real good relationship with him, and he gave me his card in case, for any future endeavors. And I said, hey, if you ever want us there, whether it's Nerdaricans or the Trek Club, just let us know. We'll be there. I mean, I had done, and I have a video interview for our group, as well as the Ghostbusters group. They were there too to do their
Nice.
thing, and they had like a whole little section for photo ops, and then they had their own section talking about ectoplasm, how to create it, and it was fun. It was fun to watch. I'm going to say that the kids, you know, they had a great time. Putting the we had comm badges on paper, and they were doing stickers and drawings of such. One was doing a drawing of a constellation around a planet. I mean, they were creative. But then the part where I come in doing talking about the technology, the bigger joy was the adults that were like, they had like no idea. Had this look on his face of surprise, like, what, really? I said, yeah. A lot of today's technology was based on the fact that people who watched this show aspired to become engineers, mathematicians, and technologists to create the science fact. I mean, the science fiction, it's a science fact. Like, one little other known fact I had talked about is that in the show, they have this technology called replicators. Replicators create food, create clothing, recreate a lot of the basic mechanical needs, from everywhere from a hypo spray to weapons, whatever needed. But that was done there. So,
But
and, and hmm?
did you let them know how the replicators work?
Yes, because I didn't want to go into deep and tell them that it was created out of caca,
Right.
because yeah, that would probably be like, oh, what? No.
Yeah. Human
So we're going to
waste.
leave that part out.
Yes.
But I did say that another proof of replicator technology was the fact in 2014 in the ISS space station, they had a 3D printer, and that 3D printer created the first clothing that they ever wore. And so far, I mean, since the introduction of 3D printers, we've had suits, we've had clothing. There's even, one that created food. I mean, don't taste great, but it keep you alive, if you know what I mean. But it is one step closer to what's next, what's going to happen next. So science fiction becomes science fact, and we're just that one step closer. With everything that Elon Musk is doing with getting Starship launched, so that way they can colonize Mars. So even where the president, before he left office the first time, he had initiated a program to do the same thing that Elon is doing for Mars, for us, for the president, for the moon. So I'm hoping that they continue that, so that in the future, the things that we watch, like Moonbase Alpha, or I forget this other show that talks about the moon as well, but the possibility of a moon base, the possibility, goofingly, in the future, being able to now live outside of the Earth
Have you
or
ever
vacation.
have you ever seen the TV show? It's not TV. It's on Apple. The show For All Mankind.
That's the one I was. That's the one. That's
Yeah.
the one. Yes, yes. So, in that respect, Space 1999, for all mankind, or even if you go jokingly look in the future, say 20 years from now, and things are established, and you're talking to your partner and saying, "Hey, what do you want on vacation this year?" I was thinking Mars. No, I hate Mars. It's so red and barren. Why don't we go to the moon so we can look down on Earth and just pick at people just for fun? But it's not out of the realm of possibility.
One of the things I don't understand about, for example, Star Trek, because I'm a nitpick on Star Trek.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
they had all this futuristic stuff, but yet they didn't have a viewer on their phone, on their communications thing.
Well, they didn't have it on the communications device. That was straight communication. You're right about that. But they used the viewers in their cabins. They had that big screen, just like this what we have, and then they'll call up, and whoever it is, if it's long distance from another planet or within their own ship, or when the captain's sitting in the captain's chair and they said, put them on screen. Bam, here we are. It's
See,
on screen.
Star Wars had it. Just saying, Star Wars had it where they could see who's talking to them on a hologram handheld device.
Yes, this is not a scout sign, just to let you know, even though I
Yeah, I
used to
know,
be a scout.
I know, I know.
Hmm.
But Star Wars had it. Yeah.
Boldly going where? Oh my God! But yeah, it was
I'm
like I
I'm
said.
I'm always joking about Star Trek, and Star Wars with you, but I'm a
Yeah,
big fan of both. You know what I'm saying? I love
same
both.
here. I'm a big fan of both. Big fan of phone. Love my Goku, not Goku. My
Yeah. Okay.
Grogu. That's a different franchise, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Love Grogu. Love the Mandalorian. Ahsoka. Funny thing, when we were invited to go check out the Section 31 film when we had talked about it, right? But as I told you before, Rosario Dawson was there for the after party, and I'm saying to myself, "Ooh." I was like, her branching over into one franchise into another franchise. I'm like, I can't wait to see if that was the possibility. I mean, I'm pretty sure she knows one or two of the actresses that are maybe there, and they're maybe a close friend. But the fact that she's there, I'm like, trying to hone in on another franchise. Go for it. It's like speaking of franchises again, Henry Cavill. Just recently, I just saw that he has announced, or I think it's official, he's the next 007. And he was talking about the one that they're rebooting, or not rebooting, the next iteration and what the story is going to consist of when he does it. So I'm like, cool, because in actuality, it was him and Daniel Craig as the last two to be, as far as the audition process was concerned. Who was it going to be?
I thought it was
And
it.
he got.
Honestly, I thought it was Idris Alba.
I thought so too, but again, 1,000 names were being thrown out there. I think we ran over a list of maybe 12 at one point last season, about 10 or 12 people that they were considering, or at least the fans said this should be. Even to what's her name? I forget the actress name. She was on Wakanda
Somebody
Forever.
commented. Somebody
Yeah.
commented. He knows Star Trek is the best.
Oh, see.
Yeah. Whatever.
There you go, brother. There you go, just for you.
Yeah.
But in that list, they can even considered a female for 007 part. So
Yeah.
it was out there. It was out there. But when it was when the Daniel Craig era was coming, it was him and Henry Cavill, and the reason they chose Daniel Craig over him is because at the time Cavill was too young to play the part. So now that he had his decade-long run, Cavill can take over, because if he was too young then, now he's at the right age now to continue that storyline. And again, my franchise actor, bro, it's like I'm loving that he is encompassing a lot of the favorite fanfare shows and TV alike, and with his, of course, love and passion to be, how can I say, to be true to the source material. That's the part I like, because at least when you go see it, you're getting some authenticity. Maybe a slight variation, but not so off that you go, oh, come on, that's not how it happened. So that at least both the new people who see it and those who already been following the franchise from God knows from wow, years, decades ago, when it was first introduced, and now a new iteration of it, us fans can go, yeah, this is great, and new fans can go, wow, this is different, I like it, and it's not throwing it off.
Somebody wrote, and it's being scrolled on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what you are speaking about. I'm Team Lou. Star Wars all the way.
Oh, yes, okay, Star Wars all the way. Yeah, we'll give you that. But you know what? In the end, both franchises, even though mine is older, are great. They have their purposes. They have different lessons to teach. Whether it's on one hand good versus evil, and how they manage to overthrow a large, I'm going to say, encompassing force that is just ruling to dominate people and not give them freedoms, and showing that, you know what, as long as there's one person who believes in freedom, there was always hope, and there's always that battle.
Now, Mo,
on the other end,
Mo,
yeah,
you set yourself up for this one. I love you dearly. I told you we're related somewhere, somehow. You're my cousin. But yeah, you're right. Star Trek is old, and we could tell by the beard you have on now.
Really? You forgot to paint that other corner of your chin, all right? Because I see some white. You're gonna paint it and hide it well. Spray paint on, okay? Make sure you get everything.
I'm gonna stop because you're gonna disconnect my break.
I just might. But in talking about the other franchise, again, exploration, the understanding of yourself, how we've accomplished,
especially the new episodes.
Oh yeah, but the one important thing that Gene Roddenberry had taught was that in the future, it's more of a utopia, and we're all one race, human. We got past the petty BS. We got past the pursuit of monetary means to show, what sort of wealth we have. We healed the sick. We fed the hungry, and we gave housing to all homeless. Now they have housing, and it's not something based on money, because that went out the window after that. The pursuit of exploration and pretty much just connecting with other people and creating this federation, that was the pursuit. That was the ultimate pursuit, if nothing else. Even when they showed Discovery going forward to the 31st century, and they saw that one event decimated practically almost, was it 90% of the Federation. Burnham made sure to bring the Federation back, find out what did it, fix it, so that the process of of regrowing and re-expanding that Federation all over again. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it's what I like to call the human adventure in that respect, and it's true. You know, we do this every day, and all we have to do now as people is just get past the petty BSs, so that way we can march forward into a better future. March forward, and that's what I love about that show. I love seeing people being fascinated by the facts of science and where it comes from and how it started. And people were, it's like, really, people were inspired. Yeah, people, we the nerds are inspired. We get inspired, and even if it was something that was said in a comic book or a TV show or a movie, we're inspired to try and bring that fiction to fact, to reality, so that if it, because we, in our own aspirations, what worked there could work here. I mean, it's
Hmm.
really not that hard about it. Really, not that hard at all. It's just a matter of taking that brave step forward, that leap of faith, and then letting the rest happens as they fall.
And I'm a strong believer if you can think it, it can happen. So what Roddenberry thought of, it's a possibility that something similar can happen.
Mhm.
We
And
will not be around to see it, but it can
we're
happen.
not. But it can happen. But we're getting close. I mean,
Yeah.
again, Elon Musk's Starship program is just right there on the brink of happening. It's right there. The Starship has already finished its third trial. It passed. It finally landed on its own perfectly. So now it's just to set the stage has to be set. So it's now send the first two with equipment to there and land, and then that 100 manned spaceship, otherwise known as Starship, takes off from here, lands out there, and then be the first colonized station of Earth out there on Mars. I mean, just saying it, it would have sounded like it was something out of a science fiction novel. Now saying it as it's a part of reality,
Hmm.
it's gonna happen. And I think as we as people, to be honest, and not to go off the rails here, but I think we need that kind of event to happen so that people can actually just go and look and say, you know what, this is a petty squabble. It's petty, but amongst us people, who we are, how we are, what color we are, and all that stuff, and really realize that we've now taken a greater leap into a bigger realm, because out there it's huge, and anything we don't know, but we're taking a chance and we're taking the good step to put it out there so that we let people know, hey, we're here,
Hey, check out what's
come and
over
meet
there.
us, and don't put any probes up our butts. We just want to shake hands
Mo,
and get to know you and break bread.
Mo, look what somebody wrote. I would love to see Star Trek fall into a hole and turn out in a Star Wars world. Great merge movie.
Great merch and movie.
Great merge.
Ah,
Great merge movie.
oh, great merge. That would, what? I probably would agree with that. I mean, there was one time I saw on YouTube where someone tried to create they called it a Space Battles fan film, in which the Enterprise D came across Star Destroyer. It just for some reason came across. They went into our side of the galaxy. We crossed into their galaxy. I forgot how it started. The next thing you know, the two are fighting. One is looking to dominate. The other one's looking to protect. That which is the Federation. But I was like, who? Space Battles, .com was actually excellent, but they didn't go any further than that.
And
So
technically, it has happened already. I mean, some uh, some Star Trek movies, the special effects guy puts in R2D2 floating away. He even put the Millennium Falcon from a far distance.
yes, you're talking about Star Trek First Contact. in which the Borg invaded space. Then there's this great battle that happens. They keep Picard out of it, and then when they hear that it's just going all wrong, Picard disobeys orders and engages the enemy, otherwise known as the Borg. They manage to defeat them, and in that explosion, there's the Millennium Falcon, and it was pretty much as a gag to put in there that yeah, even even a ship from far, far away came in to engage the Borg.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. I was like, what? And then when I saw it again, I was like, oh, damn, there it is. So yeah, it's again, I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I would definitely throw my wallet at the concession stand and say, hey, give me that ticket. I want to see that. I want to see it. Not that it's impossible. You're right. Anything's possible.
Yes.
Anything's possible. Now, on to what I like to call our segment, Nerd Mojinche!
Oh, yes. We're going to start it off with the distribution.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. The biggest thing of all, Diamond Distribution. Wow, what? Yep. And back to where it was. Yes, Diamond Distribution filing bankruptcy. What a fiasco that's gonna be. You know, I mean, you talking Marvel, DC, Valiant, Image, and now the next big comic book maker there, Boom Comics. All right. Marvel is keeping an eye out and watching this as it evolves. And so what does that mean as far as us as the people involved? I'm just going to say this much, that it's going to be tricky because, they own the distribution rights.
Yeah.
They own the distribution rights, and they're selling those divisions off. The UK version, and I forgot which the other one is, but they're selling the UK version as far as distribution is concerned. And so what does that mean for the top comic book makers? Well, that means they can go independent with some other third party if they wish.
Yeah.
Again, they're doing it. I mean, Diamond Distributors, from what I've read so far, heard, are doing it because they need to restructure. I mean, somewhere they've lost money in one of their departments, and it really caused, as they say, the domino effect to happen. And so now, they're running out of money, or they're looking to restructure. So in order to do that, they need to file the bankruptcy so they can take a step back, look at what they got, and find a more efficient way of doing things.
I'm trying to figure out, what did comic books use to distribute their books before Diamond?
Good question. You know what?
I think they sold directly to stores.
Yes, they did. But that's who's going to suffer too, because Diamond became the one, the one mountain that handled everything across the country and overseas, because they were efficient at doing that. And somewhere along the line, the ball got dropped. The domino effect started to happen. They were bleeding money. And so now they have to look at it and go, we need to step back and reevaluate what happened. But that means selling off divisions.
I think they should stay with distributing straight to comics. The comic book stores should order directly from the publishers, because Diamond Distributor, I looked into them. You need to order a certain amount every 2 weeks or something, or every.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't order that, then you don't get your books. Let's say you wanted 300 of one thing, and you only sold 100 the next month. You're not gonna go in and do it again.
No, you're right. They're up here on the tops, and so it should be knocked down. And I would say this is like like in real estate. This is now a buyer's market. Here you go. Opportunity is knocking. Now's the chance for, like, say, the smaller distributor who handles locally, directly, like you were saying, to comic book stores themselves. So that way, but not in the crazy sense. Well, if you're gonna get this comic or this particular, issues of of say Boom Comics, well, you got to get like about 200,000 of each one. But not every comic book is, how can I say, sought after. There are
No.
certain titles that are, certain titles that aren't.
And then
And
you
I
got
would say that, and the comic book, the store, sorry, knows exactly what's hot and selling. So if they say, yeah, give me that 200,000 of Grimm, and I'll take that for that issue because I know it's a hot comic book now. And then everything else, we'll go with the standard, I don't know, 10 or 15,000. Okay, we can do that. But to demand a certain amount, that's that you're just forcing people now that you're in a position where you can't do it and you're selling off stuff to look elsewhere that will go, yeah, we can do that. And there you have it.
yeah,
There you have it. And so I wish them luck. I really hope that that they step back to restructure. They take what you just said into consideration. That forcing the issue is not going to get you anywhere as far as revenue is concerned. You now have to be flexible, especially now in the day of digital comics, where anybody can just go, okay, I don't want the paper, I'll take the digital instead, and they just have to get one. But that puts both the distributor as well as the retailer out of business because they don't do digital.
yeah,
So places like Amazon and Comic X or any other that comes from that, or Marvel, it's just they have their own. I think DC has their own. They're gonna make money on that end, and they don't have to push so much money into buying a certain amount. Person's gonna buy it right then and there. They'll know what's hot by just the sales on the digital copy alone.
yep,
I know people love the paper flip through. I do too. But when it comes down to the fact that maybe your local retailer is being bamboozled into, into a contract with someone who's trying to demand you get this, or you get nothing. Well, this is where it turns around to the opposite.
yep,
Hopefully, I wish you guys luck. I really hope you pull this through and maybe see the error of your ways and make an adjustment so that way you can be the, so how can I say, the single director of distribution as you were before, because it was, I mean, the old days was one thing, and then when they took over, it was kind of good until about now, which, in the time of the economy, you want to save money, but you also want to make money.
yeah,
But you don't want to tie the hands of the person you're trying to make money from, and that's us.
yep.
You tie it down, you're gonna
No,
lose it.
and it's crazy because Walking Dead, when it came out as a comic book, everybody thought it was a flop, and it surprised the
Right?
hell out of people.
And it became such a gigantic monster that it is now. That if you buy one now, by next month, it went up to about $10 or $20 because it's such from the show. It
Yeah,
just value just shot up the roof. So Diamond, if you're listening, please, please restructure in a way that we benefit and everybody can make money from. All right, so that's for all for right now on Nerd Bochinche. Stay
we'll be
tuned.
we'll be back.
And we're back.
Welcome back to
Hey,
Puerto Ricans.
back from More Puerto Ricans, of course. I am excited and overjoyed, Mo.
I'm
And this
Groovy
guy,
Lou.
Groovy Lou. So, I'm going to just start it off and just say it. Dude, the latest iteration of this animated Spider-Man. How exciting is this, bro?
I like the animation. The animation was fantastic. The storyline, they did one hell of a 360.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Spider-Man, so by the way, spoiler alert. Everybody knows that, spoiler alert, and Chaka, this one's for you. Everybody knows that Spider-Man had got bitten by a radioactive spider, correct?
Correct.
In this version, he got bitten by an interdimensional spider.
Yes. and he
Yes.
gained his powers. But like any multiversal story, sometimes, I mean, look, 616, I think that's what it is. That's supposed to be the prime universe. That's what we know of as far as the original Spider-Man, as far as we're concerned, and his origins that follow.
Right.
But as far as the multiverse is concerned, anything's possible. And I mean, anything's possible because you just don't know what direction the story is going to evolve.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. And you don't know if it's going to be a bad Spider-Man, is he going to be an evil Spider-Man, or is he going to be like in the very beginnings of Spider-Man when he got bit by the spider, he was starting to become a spider, and they
Then
had to give him a formula to reverse that, but still keep his spider abilities.
then they went into practically ripped off a page from the Avengers where uh Osborn
Yeah.
he meets up in, remember when Tony Stark met Spider-Man in his home? Peter
Yes.
Parker. Well, this time
Yes.
it was
That
Osborn.
was Captain America: Civil War.
Right. Well, now
Yes.
this happened, but it happened with the Osborn.
Mm.
Yes. And then they made his son. I don't know. I don't know if Disney's trying to prove something, but when they first showed his son, I didn't know it was an Osborn son, and I didn't know whether it was male or female.
Mm.
Yeah, I had no
Well,
idea.
it's brave. It's
Very brave.
different. Very
Yes.
brave. Very different. But that's the thing. Excuse me, folks. I think in this idea that they're trying to approach the story not exactly to what the way everybody would expect it to go. So they turn a little twist. Bitten by an interdimensional spider. Osborn, not of the right sex. So it kind of
No, no, no.
reimagines the
I'm not.
relationship.
I'm not insinuating anything. Me personally, I had a hard time figuring it out.
Right.
I even asked my brother, and he told me the same thing. He had a hard time figuring out. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's insinuated somewhere in there.
It's insinuated, but that's the beautiful thing. The fact that they're changing the story enough to keep people guessing, to keep people like, because
Somebody said I, I like the fact
excuse me.
I like the
If you keep,
fact that with Spider-Man you can play around with it.
you can. But here's the thing, and I think you may agree on this. If you tell the exact same story over and over, it gets old. It'll
Yeah,
get old no matter who's playing the part. Like from Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield, but they didn't show that with uh Tom Holland. They didn't show with Tom Holland his origins. He just said he got bitten, and that's what happened. Everything
yes.
got dialed up. But with the other two, you had one with organic webs. Then you had the one, Andrew Garfield, who developed shooters and got cartridges from the actual Osborn factory that was harvesting the webs from the spider. So he created the cartridges that would become his web shooters. No different. But then when you went to Tom Holland, he did like just originally from the comic book, he made chemically created his own web shooters.
And he
Yeah.
in this series the 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 stars that appeared. For example, Iron Man made an appearance, and it takes place during the Sokovia Accords. So Iron Man made an appearance, Captain America, and who else? Doctor Strange from the beginning.
Oh yeah, from the beginning.
Yeah, and that's all that I can remember at the moment. But
Again,
it was the show was great. The first suit he wore, I had a problem with because he had strings connecting from his waist to like a hose to his hands. So I had a problem with that. The second thing I had a problem with, he's Spider-Man. His main objective is to conceal who he is, but yet his fingertips were uh
exposed.
yeah,
So in essence, he's leaving fingerprints at a crime scene, which the
exactly.
idea of the suit was to be able to use his powers, but not leave any evidence, physical
Exactly.
evidence, his face, his fingerprints, even footprints, because he is climbing with hands and feet. And
And
so when a camera or anything captures him, they go, "Who's that?"
they introduced a couple of suits. They introduced the white suit.
Hmm.
They introduced the first suit he wore, and at the end, he chose the traditional Spider-Man suit.
Okay, that's good. But again, reimagining it and just trying to slight curves in the story to make it fresh and interesting, other than just repeating the exact same thing in the exact same way. Just like twists in there, so people go, "Oh, okay." Like the average person who watches will go, "Oh, that's different."
Yeah,
Who might have watched just the movies but not even know the history of Spider-Man altogether will look at it that way. Us, we go, "I don't like the suit." Because we watched it for over the years that suit doesn't suit me. It's like the time where after Secret Wars when they introduced the black suit, oh, the black suit was like killing it as far as fanfare was concerned. Fans were loving the black suit, but they knew it wasn't a suit; it was a symbiont, and it
mhm.
enhanced his powers being connected with the symbiont. But still, the suit looked bad. It
Yeah,
looked great. It looked great. We're like, we love this suit. And then when he brought it back as a suit, they're still liking it. I mean, it's not a symbiont, but they're still liking it. Another twist that he just recreated the same suit, but that suit is no longer a symbiont. Okay, so certain things are no longer enhanced, like his strength or whatever, but the suit looks good.
yeah.
So,
It's all in all.
mhm.
I gave the show an 8.
hmm. I mean, as we're speaking, it's like it's going on in front of me, and I'm like taking a peek here, taking a peek there, and I'm like, I'm liking what I see.
Somebody wrote that is why people like Venom because of his suit.
Yeah, I mean, with Venom, I mean, Venom is Venom. I mean, come on
Yeah,
now. Oh, jeez. I'm like, I love it. The more I see it, even from the last film, the more I love it. And I can't wait to see when they bring him, and I hope they do. I think they are going to cross him over into um, Secret Wars. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I'm throwing my money at that place like a stripper. I swear to Jesus, I'm down. I'm on that line. I'm on. I don't know. I will be watching the digital and buying it right there. No, 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 no. Pay, 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 pay. I don't care if I take over the whole damn theater on that one from that one shooting, but all those seats are gonna be mine. You know, I'm gonna bring a party down because I mean, wow. Here's the thing: we as comic book people, we love it because we know from the answer from the one important part that makes a story, the writers. They're the ones who sit down there, and whether it's in a haze of bong smoke or whatever, come up with these storylines and to captivate you, the regular audience, better. But at the same time, give us, the comic book creators or watchers and readers that little oof, wow, yes. Perfect example. Deadpool Wolverine. The scene where you see Chris Evans, but he's covered. You don't know which Chris Evans is. You already just assume by the look of him, yeah, just like Deadpool, he's Captain America. And just at the point he's about to say something, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. He's just like Avengers, and he goes flame on. He said, "What?
Yeah.
What the?" And that's Johnny Storm. And then I remember the theater erupting like crazy when it
Me
was
too.
Johnny Storm and not Captain America. Because they saw him as, oh, come on, Cap, come on, okay. Avengers Assemble, okay. But they hear him go, flame on, like, what? The flame comes off, you see the floor, like, oh! That
Yeah.
kind of thing that you gotta love when the writers do something like that, because It one pays homage to the character. It gives us, the comic book person, a surprise we would never expect. And then three, the average person who's seen the movies just to begin with can go, "Oh, he's not Cap." And then people will remember and say, "Yeah, he was on the Fantastic Four." Duh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That sort of thing. So it's a good surprise. So uh, hats off to you guys, the writers. I mean, yeah, you have definitely enticed, excited, blown the minds of us comic book readers, as well as the people who come and throw their money into watching these films. So my hats to you. I look forward to what's ahead. I mean, take for instance Captain America, Brave New World. Now, I did say if it made over 100 million, it was on its way to good fortune at the very least. It may not, like I said, it may not reach the level of Deadpool Wolverine, but it's going up there because I read the domestic and international from the first weekend of it. And on the first weekend in the United States, it was already close to 100 million. And then on the weekend of the international, it was 94 million. So it made 194 million on a film with a budget of 180 million. So on that first week, it made 12 million over. So now profit. So like when it clears what it costs to make it, there's your profit, 12 million. Now I don't know the numbers now. I mean, if I look at it, I'll be able to find out. But from the next couple of weeks ahead, it's all profit, 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 profit. Now, if it gets past and I'm being maybe, maybe mildly under generous with this, and I say under generous, if it gets around 400, that's all profit right there. Now, the kind of profit I know they're looking for is the 500 mark and above.
Mm-hmm.
So once it clears 500 and it's still a hit, because even though you see the advertisements, yes, it's the number one movie. Let's be honest. When it came out, half the audience and half the critics were already saying one thing to another. So them having this good press because it is a good movie. It really is. You take away all the elements and the fact that it opens the door to Phase 5, Avengers, Doomsday, and then Secret Wars. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. You really can't go wrong with that. It was a nice story that led the way to what's going to be happening down the line, and I look forward to it. Thank you, writers, for that. And hopefully, anyone within the sound of my voice, go check it out. Trust me, it is a good movie. Even if you're not a comic book fan, it is a good movie to watch. It really is.
It is. It is. It is. It is. Uh,
Now,
Now, top shows to come up.
Daredevil Born Again.
Daredevil.
Daredevil Born Again. Oh, Lord have mercy. My hairs are standing up just saying that, bro. I cannot wait to see Matt Murdock.
Reacher came out.
Yes, I know. I know.
I gotta wait for all of them to come out so I can binge it.
I know. And I'm actually doing the same, but at the same time, I'm like, like, I just want to take the remote and just change it and put it on there.
I heard he might do a Marvel movie.
Who? Reacher? Well, Reacher already said in one interview, and it was for DC and not for Marvel, but he did say, yeah, if you approach me with Batman, hell yeah, I want to do Bruce Wayne. And I'm looking at him, I said, damn, Bruce Wayne he's about the right height, and he's got the build to pull it off. And as far as, the action sequences with the fighting, he could pull that off too. But in Reacher and Batman have something very similar, in which is they're great detectives. When you look at it, Reacher, just by looking at a person, already knew certain things like this. He read a person from head to toe just on his clothing and his attitude alone. So that would be Batman as well. He would sense that already and know.
Honestly, I would have picked him for Superman before they picked the guy they got now.
Yeah. With darker hair instead of blonde, yeah. But
you know what? There's nothing dye wouldn't do. You could dye it.
You could. No. I'm not saying you could dye it. I'm not saying that. But for him as Superman, yeah, my man. He's already got the build, so you just have to create the suit to fit the build.
Yeah.
You know, but could he pull off a Kansas City Farm Boy? I'm gonna say yeah. But as Batman, he would be badass. I mean, between him and the only other actor that I would love to hear, see Jensen Ackles, because he's done the voice of the Red Hood in one of the animated series, Batman Under the Red Hood, and he was
Right.
the voice of the Robin, right? So I'm like, but him as Batman, oh boy, what?
You know what though? I would pick him as the Teen Titans Superboy.
Let me just digest that for a few seconds.
He's got
I
that
can.
boy look,
Yeah, he's got the boyish look,
and he's
but
got the build.
oh yeah, he's got the build. He built himself up so he didn't have to wear padding for Soldier Boy and the boys. But still, I'm like, yeah, I might be able to see that him as Superboy and with powers and all, and have Crypto the dog with him. You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, if he was doing Teen Titans, yeah. I don't know, man. Him as Batman, he'd be like extremely vicious as Batman. It's like he
He
doesn't even need a modulator. He's already got the voice for
he
it.
would definitely be good as Captain Britain.
No, I'm gonna doubt that because I like Henry Cavill as Captain Britain. I think
Yeah.
he
We
could
know
bring
he's not
that
gonna do
essence
it.
to it. Huh?
We know he's not gonna do it. He's gonna do
Oh no, he wanted to do that. He wants
yeah,
to
but
do that one.
they picked him for this other role. Uh
Well, I don't know. Well, again, rumors has it that he was. There was talks of him being the Beyonder for Secret Wars. And when I saw like
somebody
when they did an artist rendering of it, I was like, "Ooh, Beyonder? I can
somebody
see that."
wrote what about a universe where Robin is the boss and Batman is the sidekick?
Hmm. Not out of the realm of possibilities. Again, it's how you're going to tell it because when Batman came across Robin, he was part of the Flying Graysons. They were
Hmm.
trapeze uh, acrobatics and all that. And I think they had an issue with the mob in Gotham. I forgot which family, and the mob, you know, created an accident that took out the family, with the exception of Grayson, which was now Robin. And it makes me laugh when I think about this because in the latest animated series of DC, when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths, there's a one time where different heroes from the different Earths and the different universes converge on a monitor's station, and there's a Robin who is there, and he's like, Bruce, so good to see you again. And Bruce is like, what? And he's from the Prime universe. He's like, what? Or his Prime universe, he is the only person. There's no Bat family. So he looked at him and he was like, hey, it's me, Dick Grayson. You see from the Flying Graysons? Yeah, yeah. My family had died. He said, yeah, it's very sad business. And then you took me in, you trained me, you had me be my partner. And I swear it just had me on the floor laughing for about 5 minutes. He looked at him and says, that's irresponsible. I just lost it because how many times people are goofed at the fact that you have a kid as your sidekick, and it's like alarm bells are ringing here. Hello, and then for him to sit there and go, "That's terribly irresponsible." I'm like,
Yeah.
"What did you say?"
Not only not only irresponsible, it's just weird.
Exactly.
I
I
mean,
was like,
you only hear about that in two other cases.
"Mm-hmm." Go ahead.
Michael
I know you want to say it. Go ahead, say it.
Michael Jackson and priests.
Oh, yeah. He just had to go there, did he
They don't
not?
they, they don't call them sidekicks.
They don't call it Magic Mountain for nothing either. Hello. Yeah, I'm like, what? But again, an example of storytelling, bringing all these different people together, especially like right after that, and how you remember Selena, and it's Selena, and it was Huntress, and Huntress is the child of both Batman and Ra's al Ghul's daughter,
Mm-hmm.
because she, in all essence, and not a spoiler alert, she roofied him.
Yeah,
Talk
most
about
people.
date rape. She roofied the one man who didn't see it coming. All right, didn't see
That
it
was
coming.
that was
So
a
much
major.
for those detective skills.
Yeah, that was a major talk back in the day.
Hell yeah, she roofied him to get a kid. Selena's been what? One, she's like all over him, giving them lickies and all that, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, you're a criminal. Like,
Oh
get off
man,
your high horse.
and now P Diddy has a sidekick.
Oh yeah, he got several sidekicks.
Yeah.
Where he's going, he's gonna have several sidekicks. No baby oil, but definitely a lot of sidekicks. God knows. They'll probably come in with something that says, "Hi, I don't have oil, but I have this," and it's gonna, open up a little jar that says, "I can't believe it's not butter." Lather that boy up, bro. I'm just like, oh boy. Or worst case scenario, he winds up running the whole thing and gets a box. Still get boxes of Johnson & Johnson oil sent to prison. Hello.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man, just a thought. Let me. I don't know how. I need the holy water. I need the holy water because that's just filthy in my mind. Mm. Oh, thank you, Lord. Because that's funny. That is funny. But digressing and going back on track again. Thank you, writers, for giving us these surprises, and I hope many more. Because when I like another example, the trailer for the upcoming Fantastic Four. That's another one coming up in July, which in fact follows with, if not before or after, Superman. And I'm like, I say, you know what? I mean, the first trailer has got our attention. This little one so far, I think they really need to give us something bigger, or if not, subtler, more subtle, because I know you don't want to give too much away. And as I said before, this is supposed to be the crown jewel for the new universe that Safran and excuse me, are making as co CEOs,
Yep.
and James Gunn and Safran. So for everything else that's supposed to come out, because if this winds up being a flop, I mean, ooh, nosedive. Oh my! Because here's an example. What I was saying before between regular person and comic book person. So I introduced my girlfriend to my world of comics and movies and stuff. So when she saw the trailer for the new Superman, she's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see that." But I said, "Let me give you some context about what we feel and what we like." So she's seen Cavill and she's like, But I said, "You haven't seen him as Superman." So we spent yesterday watching Man of Steel. She watched it for the first time, and I told her, and I gave her the premise I said beforehand, is that Snyder wanted to create a realistic idea that this person could exist. So watch it for that, content, and tell me what you think. She said it was good. I saw a lot of aspects of what you meant by being it realistic, and she's very religious. So that scene where Cal sits into the church and starts talking with the priest, there's one moment where he's sitting, and then the frost glass in the background shows Jesus praying, and that glass. I mean, I didn't know, but the glass, that frosted glass, was a representation of him trying to talk to God before he wound up being crucified, and was trying to figure all of this out. And so she brought that to my attention. I said, "Well, welcome to my world. That's your first Easter egg, even though it's not a comic book Easter egg, but it's an Easter egg like someone like yourself would pick out and see and say, wow, it's tying it all together that way." and she saw it. She liked it. Very understandably realistic. So, in that respect, kudos to the writers. Kudos to Zach for bringing that to our attention to watch and think, hey, this could exist. This could happen. So, on that,
I wish Snyder would be allowed to do superhero movies again. Like, give him Marvel. Let's see what he comes up with Marvel.
Ghost Rider. Give him Ghost Rider. He for a dark undertone and realism. I'd love him to see what he would do with Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to see what he would do with Ghost Riders. I mean, what? And even if you can get and I know you could, but get Keanu Reeves. I love to see him play Danny or any of the other Ghost Riders. But as long as it's him being Ghost Rider, I just want to see that. I mean, it would blow my mind. I mean, I know that there's talks of him doing his comic book series. And right now, it's escaping me the name of that comic book series right now. Berserker, yes. Because, the character already looks like him. So, hey, why not? But bringing that story to the screen and him doing it. Yeah, where's my wallet? I think I threw it already. I'm gonna wire it in. Wait, I got my second wallet right here on my phone. I'm gonna take over a theater. Frig it, because I want to see that, bro. But again, that's the love that we have for movies, comic books, and what have you.
Give Snyder Voltron.
No, that's already being done. But yeah, I could see that too. But I'm talking about with him doing it in the style like 300. So when it comes to the scenes, when he bursts through a room, when he starts taking out those who are not innocent, or even when he gives them the penance stare. Ooh!
Yeah.
Ooh. Yes. Yes. I mean, down. It's like it's raising again. Going, it's like the back of my neck standing.
And with that, I believe we are out of here, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So until next time, I'm Groovy Lou.
And I'm ecstatic and hair standing up Mo. Saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again in our world known as the Ricans. Live long and prosper.
May the force be with you.